lost the toss. The Washington Huskies have elected to receive, and Batanzo's kickoff has gone into the end zone, and the Huskies will put it in play. First down on their 20-yard line. This is Wayne Mack, along with Bert Jones and Doug Morrow, as we take a look at Steve Pallure, a hot quarterback who hit his last 15 passes in the game against Michigan to pull that one out. He's hit on 74% of his passes in this young season. The Huskies are 2-0. The Tigers are 1-1. And to say that this game is important would only be redundant. So let's get on with it and watch. Hines and Hunt, the running back. Hunt, number 45. Hines, number 22, is a tailback. They're in an I formation. Right out to left and right, and Hines gets the call. And he's snapped down at the 21-yard line. Melanson is in there on the tackle. Let's get some comment here from Bert and Doug. Tell us what you expect and what you see already.
Well, I think, Wayne, what we're doing here, they're just mixing it up a little bit. The LSU secondary didn't line up as they normally have the last couple of weeks. And I think they fooled them on that first play. They tried to get outside, and they didn't. That's where LSU's had its problems over the years.
All right. Larry Michael, Lance Dodson, Ted Brosey, Dan Ernestine, Ricky Mallory, Dennis Mayer. That offensive picture for the Huskies. There's a throw out to Stransky, and he's knocked out of bounds as he crosses the 30-yard line. But the official says he stepped out of bounds on about the 26, a 5-yard pickup. So it'll be third down coming up for the Huskies. So Pallure, who's been hotter than a depot stove, is ready. He's a 6'3", 210. Sterling Hines is a 190-pound tailback. Hunt is a 225-pound fullback. And Stransky is one of his busy wide receivers. He likes to hit the flanker, the split end, and his tight end has caught 10 passes. So we've got a 3rd and 4, the first possession of the evening for the Huskies. Stransky in motion. Pallure drops. Caught by Stransky. Knocked down by Dale.
Jeffrey Dale came up and made a spectacular play on that, stopping him short of the first down. It looks like Washington may be going for that pass completion record as opposed to just coming out and trying to play football. They've been known to throw short, but those are 3 passes or 2 passes less than 4 or 5 yards. Here you see it going to the weak side, just throws it out there. Jeffrey Dale comes up and makes a play on it short of the first down, gives LSU the opportunity to get his first possession of the ball.
A good play by Jeffrey Dale from Winfield, Louisiana. And the Huskies have only averaged 29 yards per punt. A high snap. He gets off a line drive. Could be brought back into good position, but they're going to let it roll. Well, the Huskies are lucky on that one because the ball rolled inside the 35-yard line. And the Tigers will put it in play after a 39-yard punt. And let's take a look here at the Tigers offense as they trot on the field.
Very fortunate break for Washington that time. Here you see LSU's offensive set. Eric Martin is a guy, Wayne, that hasn't had too much impact so far this season. I think we can look for him to play a part tonight.
All right, Smith and Berry, the anchors on that offensive line, 290 pounds of tackle. Wickersham's going to whip it out on first down, and it's caught by Fontenot, and he's up to the 43. Going to the flanker, and Bestie Jackson makes the tackle.
And Wayne, it looks like LSU is going to try a little bit of Washington still. There you see Lang, Wickersham, Hiller, and Fontenot in the backfield for LSU. They're throwing a short pass coming right out of the box, throwing the football. Maybe that'll work.
All right, here we go. 2nd and 1, 9-yard pickup. Junius Durrell in motion. Pitch back to Dalton Hilliard. He finds a little crease, gets over the 45. Well, it's good to see that Hilliard looks healthy, fellas.
Well, he looked healthy that time, and the little crease was almost big enough for him to get through. LSU lined up in the I formation. Here you see Washington's defensive line, and those 3 all have a lot of experience. All lettermen, all returning, and LSU's going to have to control those 3. Their linebackers on the outside, Hill and Small, are real hitters. In the secondary is where Washington is pretty suspect.
All right, and their inside linebackers are their leading tacklers, too. Single setback now with Fontenot in motion to the top of your screen, and Wickersham drops deep, sets up, and whips one out here, and it is incomplete. And I don't know where that one was intended for, gents.
He threw it. Looked like it was going to Dalton there, just a little bit high.
Pearson, Jackson, Albritton, and Leiphart in the secondary for the Huskies of Washington. And so we've got here a 2nd and 10 for the Tigers. No score in the ball game. 12:25 to go here in the first quarter. The Huskies had to punt it away after their first possession. And the Tigers of LSU, a packed house here in Baton Rouge, and a great, beautiful night for football. Wickersham, he's got it. Eric Martin on a slant.
There's a fine thrown football there. Jeff Wickersham just stuck it right in there. Eric Martin, as he showed, coming down on a quick slant. It was a fine play as they continue to take advantage of this short passing game. It can be very effective for LSU.
Bert, I tell you, it's interesting because here you see Wickersham on the short drop hitting the quick post to Martin. He made a nice catch despite the safety coming over on the inside to give him a lick.
1st and 10. Tigers with the football, moving it in Washington territory. Pick back to Dalton Hilliard, and he is smothered. Good lateral pursuit, and it was Ron Holmes, a left tackle, number 90, a junior, who led the charge. The defensive line for the Huskies is small, relatively speaking, averaging about 240 pounds. Holmes is 240. Browning, the nose guard, is 245. Madsen is 252. So they are not big, but they rely on quickness and experience. They have all lettermen except one in that defensive unit. So we've got a 2nd and 10 now. 2 wideouts to the left. Motion from Hilliard, who was set up on a flanker, and Wickersham scampers, looks. Away we go, deep, way overthrown. He got rid of that one, didn't he?
Yes, he did, and it was a fine play on his part. He didn't have anyone to throw to, but he came out and just threw it out of the end zone. Consequently, LSU just comes up with another down, no problem. He just got out of a bad jam there.
And Bert, it looks like LSU is varying their formations a lot more. They've run the I formation, but sent the man in motion across the formation really to establish a slot. Jerry Stovall looks like he's put in a lot of new things this week. That time they came up, they had a wing to the right, they had a split into the left, ran the wing across the formation to set up a trips on the left side, and 3 quick receivers there.
3rd and 10. Once again, motion by Hilliard. Wickersham looks open, hot, down to the 21. Fontenot again, 16 yards.
That's that same formation they ran, Bert, the last play. They ran the trips with the guy coming in motion across, but ran a little bit different pattern.
Here we say we just see a good combination pass route. You see Dalton trying to occupy a couple people deep. Fontenot coming underneath, making the play, and almost breaking loose for a touch.
And a salute to the offensive line with some good blocking. They held their blocks there beautifully and gave Wickersham time to find his man.
Here you see Jeff coming off the side saying, what'd I do, Jerry? 1st down, 21-yard line. We need a real good play here. Give me 5 or 6 yards, and I'll have them in a bad position.
10:49 to go in the 1st quarter. No score in the ball game. This is the Tigers' first possession. Do they appear more crisp and businesslike tonight?
They appear a lot crisper to me. Of course, offensively, they're doing a lot of things that we haven't seen them do the first 2 games. But defensively, I think, is where I was impressed more than anything on the first series. They came out like they were ready to play, and that's a far cry from the way they played in the first 2 ball games. This is what I think Jerry Stovall has looked for in his team, to have the defensive players all want to get around the football and all be in on that tackle. And of course, the game is young. We've got 10:45 left in the 1st quarter still, but this is the type of effort he needs to have that excellent football team that he wants this year.
So the defense can sort of set the pace for the offense then, right? They seem to work together
all the time, and the main thing is they are changing it up a little bit more than what they have in the previous 2 games. It's been effective thus far. Washington hasn't prepared for this, and let's just see if we can continue throughout.
All right, let's go. 1st and 10. The Tigers have the football, breaking out of that huddle. Mitch Andrews, a tight end, takes up position on the right side. And we've got 2 wideouts split. High formation again for Wickersham. A little shift in the line there for the Husky defense. There's Hilliard with the ball. And the little 197-pounder from Patterson, Louisiana, wrecks his way down to the 15-yard line. J.C. Pearson made the hit.
Well, that's a real good play, because what people really don't always know is the yardage gets tougher as you get inside the 20-yard line. The defense doesn't have to cover near as much of the field, and it's just tougher to get in there. So you have to have a special offense in order to play the +20, as I used to call it.
Wickersham is 3 for 5 for 41 yards. Down to about the 12-yard line on that one.
And close to a 1st down.
The little guy looks tough and quick, just like he did before that Rice game. Vince Albritton, the strong safety. 6-foot, 200-pound senior made the tackle on the little guy, Dalton Hilliard.
And he's right close to it. LSU, that play is the first running play they've run into the wide side of the field. They run Hilliard 3 times in the weak side, and it looks like they're going to vary their entire running game to use the complete field.
3rd and 1. Fontenot in motion. Dalton gets the call. Hey, and he plows over the right side, over the right shoulder of the tackle, and gets himself a first down. Gents, how do you like that power play?
It was a good one, just straight ahead. Give me a lead blocker. Mr. Lang has been doing it all year long. You look on the charts inside the dressing room, he is their #1 blocker.
And you know, they're going to run behind Lance Smith and Kevin Langford on the right side of the line anytime they have that opportunity.
All right, it's first down on the 8-yard line. 9:23 to go. Here in the first quarter, no score. The Tigers knocking at the door. Hilliard gets the call. Down inside the 5, piled up. Dean Browning, the nose guard. Number 99 leads the charge, 245-pound senior. Wickersham. What's Wickersham looking for there? A little signal?
A play. Hey, Jerry, send me a play in.
We've got a 2nd down on the 4. 2nd and goal from the 4 for the Tigers of LSU. They're up against a ball club that's 2-0 this year, that came from behind to beat Michigan in the 4th quarter, that won 10 and lost 2 last year. Hilliard again to the right. There he goes. Touchdown.
LSU needed to get them off to the right foot. Just a power sweep to the right side. They lined up in a tight wing formation to the left and sent the wing back across in motion to the right. Simple handoff to Hilliard, Wayne, and excellent blocking, a gain by the right side of the Tiger offensive line.
They got the corner with no problem, and it turned out to be a touchdown.
Betanzo's kick is up and good. So with 8:30 remaining on the clock in the first quarter, the Tigers lead 7-0. We'll be back in a moment. Jackson and Hines are deep. 12 plays, 66 yards, 4 minutes and 58 seconds. A business-like operation for the Tigers of LSU. Hilliard, a 4-yard run, his 4th touchdown of the campaign. The kick by Betanzo. 1 yard deep. Green is knocked down at the 17. Washington has not had to return many kickoffs this year. Chris Cruz down there to make the hit, and they're averaging 17 yards per return, and that's where they get knocked down on this one.
And Wayne, there's nothing like picking up your defense, as you see here, by scoring 7 points. Molson, Chapman, Burks, and Dubrock, they're fired up and they're ready to play. All right, the Tigers look like they mean business. Steve Pallure, the quarterback from Washington, takes up position behind the center. He has a single setback. Now he brings Hunt in motion. And he gives it to Hines, who's caught behind the line. Rydell Malasan and Eric Kiddick chased him down.
And when you look at that defense, LSU had 10 people. As short a time as that play took to develop, LSU ended up with 10 people around the ball. Here you see the handoff to Hines in the backfield deep. He tries to get outside to the rock. Kiddock comes over. Rydell Melanson follows up, and 8 other defensive players are within 3 yards of that picture.
2nd and 13. Pallur, quick count, looks, brings it down, rolls out. He's being chased. Throws it to the ground. Is it intentional grounding? Clarence Osborne, Big Oz, a freshman, chasing him down, and it is no flag.
I want to hear a quarterback tell me, was that intentional grounded? Tell me, quarterback.
Even though he's from Washington, there's no such thing as intentional grounding. But I tell you, Doug, you know, this is the first time I've been in Tiger Stadium at night, and it certainly is on fire. It adds a whole new dimension, and I think it's picked up the LSU team a great deal. They're coming out like they haven't come out in the 2 previous games.
That breaks a string of 16 consecutive passes. Jefferson is in a nickel defense now for the Tigers. On 3rd and 13, Pallur is hounded back, throws, and who's got it?
Jeffrey Dale, interception.
Incomplete. Jeffrey Dale cut in front and grabbed it.
And listen to this place.
These people are going absolutely crazy. You see Mike the Tiger leading the fans on, but we don't need Mike the Tiger to lead them on tonight. A great interception by Dale. A crossing pattern, Washington ran, and Dale just ran the ball down before the receiver. Here you see Pallur drop back. His receiver's coming from the left across the field, and Jeffrey Dale just beat him to the ball.
And that's another completion for Steve Pallur. Fontenot, motion, coming this way. Gary James hurdles, gets yardage. Robert Leaphart took him out. Wow, this is a different football team than we saw the first 2 games, gents. There's no doubt about that.
It sure is, and I'm not so sure it may not be Tiger Stadium at night.
Well, it's a magic place to be. The ambience, the excitement, the tension.
Hey, Wayne, what does ambience mean?
That's something you get hauled away in if you get hurt in a car wreck.
That's what I thought.
1st and 10. Big run by Gary James. He gets a call, drops it. Wisely falls on the football.
You know, that might show that he has excellent ability. Most people would try to get down there, pick it up. I dropped the ball, let's get something out of it. But he didn't. He just fell on the football just like you're supposed to do and say, all right, let's go for 3rd down now.
Washington's offense has been just about double their opponents. And LSU is showing tonight that they're ready and raring to roll with a 2nd and 13. Once again, a wingback with a single setback. Lang drifts out, but Wickersham looks this way and overthrows Martin.
I'm not so sure that was an overthrow, Wayne. It looked like it went right through Eric's hands. I feel like Eric probably thinks that he should have caught that ball, and typically he does because he has hands like glue.
Sure does. That was a very catchable pass. He should have made that catch. Wickersham had the ball just perfect. There you see passing efficiency of those two. That's 2 pretty good quarterbacks. Jeff's got to cut down those interceptions, but there was no chance that time. 3rd down and long.
All right, what do we do here? The Tigers lead 7-0. Jeff Wickersham, draw play to Lang, and he's down to the 15, and we'll go for the field goal.
Well, here they come.
Krakowski and Kelly, the inside linebackers, make the hit, and Betanzos will go for the field goal here as the Tigers lead 7-0, and 3 more would look mighty good with 6:20 to go in the 1st quarter.
You saw a pretty good recovery by Washington's defense because Lang had a hole big enough where he could have gone down to about the 5-yard line. Great recovery by Washington's linebackers and secondary to make the tackle.
32-yard attempt. Betanzos kicks it high and straight. It's 10-0. Tigers, 5:57 to go in the 1st quarter. We'll be back in a moment. ball game here in Tiger Town. About 75 degrees. The Tigers lead 10-0. The Huskies must be stunned. The kickoff by Betanzo. Green, a yard deep. Hit. Oh, what special teams. 11 yards. Get the license number on that truck.
I think it was Mr. Rehaj.
I tell you last week that guy liked to play football.
Oh, brother.
A nice cool breeze in Tiger Stadium, but the Tigers are fired up.
5:48 to go, first quarter, 10-0 Tigers. The defense now gets the call. 4 plays, 14 yards, 32-yard field goal. Took him 1:37. Previously scored on a 4-yard run by Hilliard. Steve Pallur. Smothered. Bodies are flying everywhere.
And that was a fine play by Greg Dubrock, it looked like, coming inside, sliding off a block and coming up making the play.
Those Tigers, I don't know what Jerry Stovall fed them for supper today. Maybe he didn't feed them at all. 2nd and 11. Steve Pallur must wonder what hit him. Draw play again. Gets a yard or two at the most. The Tigers weren't fooled. They stayed home.
Oh, they really are playing well as a defensive unit. Mike DeWitt is in there at safety. Jeffrey Dale has injured his shoulder, apparently. He's down on the bench with his pads and his jersey off. But DeWitt came up on that last play. 2 plays in a row, has made great hits at the line of scrimmage.
Now here comes Jefferson in, and Dubrock checks out as they go into a nickel defense on 3rd and 10. Leading 10-0. Pallur hitting 74% of his passes going into this game. Has been intercepted by Dale, has been harassed by the defense. He drops back to the goal line, whips one deep for Green, deep, and he made a great catch. No, he dropped it. Oh, he had his back to us. He had it and dropped it. And the Tigers dodge a bullet.
Here we see, dropping back. I bet he thinks or wishes he were that fast, but you see an excellent effort there. Just laid out for the ball, and it obviously hit on the other side.
All right, so they'll punt it away. And remember, the Huskies averaging only 29 yards a punt by Zimmerman. He managed 39 on his first punt, but he took down a high snap and just got off a line drive that bounced for a while. So the punting game, they've had punts as short as 11 yards this year. It's a problem for the Huskies. And it's another short one. Hobley goes for it, then dodges it, and it's loose, and who's got it? That was not fielded too well by the Tigers special teams. They didn't know what to do with it.
And Washington came up with it. A critical error by LSU to even try to touch that punt. The ball was inside the 45-yard line regardless and was going to roll dead there. That's just enthusiasm, but golly gee, you know, Jerry Stovall doesn't want that enthusiasm. Here you see Zimmerman with a very, very short end-over-end punt. Last time he punted, the ball rolled pretty well. This time, I think Hobley was trying to get out of the way, but the ball touched him and then hit the back. Who was that? 52. Tony Nephew hit the back of his foot. Washington ended up with the ball on the 43.
All right, a big break for the Huskies on the kicking game. Strong left this time as they shift. Steve Pallur drops to throw. His longest completion this year, 20 yards. And that's Stransky on the far side, and he's knocked down by Sean Burks. 14-yard pickup.
That's good pursuit on LSU's defense because he got by the corner there, and had Sean Burks not have been there, it might have been touched.
And Pallur's got a fine arm. He threw the ball across the field. That's a tough pass to throw because you need somebody that can get the ball out there, but it makes the defense stretch so far to try to cover that pass.
You have to watch Stransky. He's a good receiver. There's a give to Hunt, the fullback, straight ahead. He's the only fullback that's carried the ball for Washington. They've had 4 tailbacks share the duty, but Hunt's the only one that's carried it from the fullback spot. So a 2nd and 6 now after a 4-yard pickup.
And gentlemen, you know, a couple of degrees of enthusiasm have cooled off from this crowd with that fumble on the punt return. LSU's got to keep charged up right here. Washington got some momentum back, not necessarily enough to turn the game over, but they got a little back with that recovery.
Mike DeWitt is in for Jeffrey Dale. DeWitt from Laurel, Mississippi, and we have a timeout being called here by Washington. The University of Washington takes a timeout with 3:04 remaining here in the first quarter, and the Tigers leading 10-0. So what do we do here, gentlemen? The Tiger defense has certainly conducted itself well. What do you expect from Washington now? Now that they know what the Tigers are doing on defense pretty well, what do you expect?
Well, LSU's been changing it up on defense. They haven't blitzed yet on defense like they typically do by this time of the game. So I think that's the reason they called timeout there. They might have felt the blitz was coming. They were in the wrong formation. They were uncovered because the fullback was out on the wing, and the quarterback probably would have been sacked because there was no one to pick up the inside blitzers. So I think he elected to call timeout on that. Now let's see if LSU might come out and change it.
And I think that what you've seen really is LSU's defense being more enthusiastic more than any technical trickery. They're just playing hard and playing good tonight. Washington's on the 38-yard line between the 37 and 38. 10 of 11 times this season that they've been inside of the 40, they have scored.
All right, let's see if the Tigers can break that string. DeFeo now is a fullback. Pelur drops back, whips one out here again. It's short and caught by his tight end over around the 30-yard line. 8-yard pickup.
And I'm glad he was tripping when he caught the ball, because I'm not sure what the coverage was on that one. It obviously wasn't the correct coverage because he was wide open.
Larry Michael didn't catch a pass last year, and that's his 11th catch this year.
And he's the fellow who caught the 2-point conversion against Michigan last week for the win.
1st and 10 now for Washington. They can get back into this ball game. And there's a give to Jackie Robinson, who's getting some play time tonight, and Roland Barbie makes the tackle. Jacques Robinson, who was in the coach's doghouse. Don James gave him residence there when he showed up overweight and slow, but he's getting some action tonight. 2nd and 6 now after a 4-yard pickup. 2:30 to go in the first quarter. Steve Pelur, whose brother Scott Pelur is a linebacker with the New Orleans Saints. There's motion by Stransky to the bottom of your screen. Going deep this time for Green, and he grabbed it.
What a great catch, because he was well covered by DeWitt and Hobley. Green ran a corner pattern, and really the ball was thrown where I think LSU would have wanted it thrown if it was going to be thrown on that play. And Green went up, took the ball out of the air. Here you see Pelur going back. He knows where Green's going to be on the corner pattern, lays the ball out there. LSU's got 2 people there, and Green just goes up and outfights him.
That's 24 yards. That's their longest pass completion of the year. Jackie Robinson into the end zone. Touchdown, Huskies. Well, the fumbled punt, which gave the Washington Huskies a second life, and they took advantage of it and moved the ball in to score, and it's 10-6.
That's true, but almost as bad as the fumble punt was that last corner pattern. In the double coverage, the secondary just wasn't able to come up and make the play. They should have at least knocked the football down and most probably come up with an interception with the ball hanging in the air like it was. They just didn't break on the ball like they should have.
All right, ready for the kick from Jaeger, the freshman, and it's good. Jeff Jaeger, first freshman to earn a kicking job in a long time at Washington, and he gives the boys their 7th point, and it's 10-7 LSU now, and that sort of quiets the crowd a little bit here, because you hate to see another team get one of your mistakes and run with it.
Well, man, I tell you, if 5 plays ago or 6 plays ago, if you had said the score is going to be 10-7 and the tide would have changed the way it has, I would not have believed it. LSU was fired up. Washington just couldn't do anything right, and LSU was physically beating them to death. And as it is right now, they've evened this game out completely. They've almost evened it out on the scoreboard, but more importantly, they've gotten back in the ball game, and I think they've stunned the crowd and stunned LSU's team.
Well, this is the critical time for LSU now, because now you'll see if they're maturing as a ball club, because the one thing you can't let happen to you is let yourself down after a big break against you, such as a fumble punt. The corner that should have been intercepted and getting 7 points. They're ahead by 3 points. They've got to come back, play the offensive kind of football that they did so far, and move the ball, score, and let the defense play again.
All right, the analysis of Bert Jones and Doug Morrow, two greats here in Tiger Town in their younger days, and now adding their analysis and expertise to the telecast of tonight's ball game. This is Wayne Mack, along with the guys, having a good time. It's a beautiful night for football, and there's no better place to watch it than right here in Baton Rouge and Tiger Town. Jeff Jagger will kick off. And who do we have deep?
James and Jefferson.
And James is going to down it 5 yards deep wisely, and Jefferson says, let's not mess with that one. Put it down there and let's start on the 20. So Jeff Wickersham goes out. Mike Gambrell, the center, the captain, who earned the starting job back from Campbell. He graded up and is back starting at center. Jeff Gambrell from Slidell. Wickersham, the pride and joy of Merritt Island, Florida, goes out now to tell the boys what they're going to do. Eric Martin and Fontenot are the wideouts. And Wickersham looks right all the way. Hilliard gets the call and drops the ball as he is hit hard by J.C. Pearson. Pretty good collision there, gents. 2nd and 10 now. Minute and 48 to go in the first quarter. The Tigers leading Washington's Huskies by a score of 10-7.
Yes, it was, and it shows that LSU is going to try to take advantage of the short passing game.
Now it's Fontenot and Martin, Durrell and Martin. High formation this time. Hilliard blocked by Lang. A beautiful block by Lang. Springs Hilliard. Away we go. "65 yards.
And that was a great run. Just a power sweep. That's a play. That's one of the base plays in LSU's offense. Here you see the previous play. Here it comes. A pitch from Wickersham to Hilliard. He cuts behind Lang's block here back to the left, and he got a great lead block. Came all the way back. Now Eric Martin is trying to catch up with him to throw a block. Robert Leaphart, though, just runs Hilliard down, but a great run by Hilliard.
Oh, what a play. 65 yards. Gary James in the ball game. Crashes off the right side, gets inside the 15. Well, that stunned him. Fred Small made the hit, linebacker on the weak side, 222-pound junior for the Huskies of Washington. Oh, what a run. That Dalton Hilliard. He was looking for more gas, too, wasn't he? He wished he had an afterburner he could have turned on there. He ran at an angle.
He really was, but he's been hurt for the last 2 weeks and hadn't had an opportunity to work out, and because of it, you can get tired in a hurry.
It's a good point. 2nd and 8. James cuts inside the 10. High, oh, to the goal. Leaphart finally stopped him.
Tell you guys something. Lance Smith is making up this week for anything anyone may have said bad about him the last 2 weeks. He is absolutely crushing people on his blocks. Here you see a pitch to James, finds the crack, picks those legs up again. Leaphart comes over and makes a tackle from behind.
And Junius Durrell making a good block downfield. Gary James from Gretna, Louisiana. What a run.
Touchdown.
Straight ahead. Are back.
And I believe this shows that they are maturing as a ball club together. Age is coming of age, as they say.
Well, you know, here's Hilliard, who gallops 65 yards. James comes in and cracks off right tackle down to the goal line. That shows these two guys a tandem of 1-2, and the power and the speed and the strength and the character of these guys.
And how they complement each other.
All right, Batanzo's for the kick. Sky high and good. 17-7. The Tigers lead in a power-packed first quarter with 20 seconds to go. Jeff Wickersham took it in on the sneak. 6'5" and 6'3" and 205. He's got the power. And the Tigers lead 17-7 with 20 seconds to go. And it's Danny Green and Ron Jackson. Green number 80. Jackson number 25 for Washington. Wow, what a first quarter.
This is a fun way to watch it, isn't it? Woo! You know, the gratifying thing about that drive, LSU did it just with their base offense plays, no tricks.
Batanzo straight ahead kick. Green at the 4. Boom! He is horse-collared and bulldogged.
And that's Freddie Lewis. He went down and ran through the man trying to block him and tackled both his blocker and the ball carrier, then just let go of the blocker and kept with the ball carrier.
19-yard return. All right. 5 plays, 80 yards. Only took 1:35 thanks to Dalton Hilliard, who has 8 carries for 90 yards and a touchdown.
That's not a bad average, is it?
Not a bad first quarter.
He has good first quarters, doesn't he?
Hunt and Hines in the backfield for Pelluer. Bang, you're it. Out of bounds. What a crushing blow. Dubrock. Roussel is in for Barbay at nose guard.
And we've got a penalty, and I think they're going to call unnecessary roughness.
Yep.
And I'm not sure that was a real good call because he didn't know he was out of bounds.
Ricky Chapman is in. Stovall is arguing, but it'll be a losing argument.
Here we go. We'll see it right. Maybe not. You can tell. They can make them. They can call a conference and change it. See, he's running up the sidelines, and he hit him right on the tape. So that's a pretty tough call.
That was a pretty tough hit, too. I think you're right, though. After all, he had just walked up the sideline. He had been walking a tightrope successfully. Barely escaped going out of bounds about 5 yards up the field. Referee John Cook, A.C. Lambert Jr. is the umpire. Well, and they decided it's a late hit.
That's absolutely right. If you're going to call the penalty on Chapman for the late hit, you've got to call delay of game on the receiver for continuing to run down the sidelines after the whistle is blown. Very unfair call by the official. I'm sure made it with all good intention, but still not a very good call.
I believe I'd go to the commissioner on that one.
Steve Pelluer hears a lot of noise down there. Gives the ball to Hunt, the fullback, and Chapman meets him head on.
Flag. We've got another flag on this one.
We have a flag, and let's see what that is, and we'll take a break. We've reached the end of the quarter here, but we'll wait and see what the flag. It's a face mask call coming up, so let's take a break. We've reached the end of the first quarter. A power-packed episode indeed. The Tigers lead 17-7. Back in a moment. Face mask was called. We'll get around to that. Pelluer to Mark Pattison, his second-team flanker, who has caught a lot of balls. He's caught 9 going into this ball game. Gentlemen, tell them about the face mask and what we've had here so far.
Well, we've had an advancement for Washington, and it's strictly from penalties. They've had 2 penalties, 15 yards and 5 yards for a face mask, and they've moved the ball, but that's the way they've done it with the help of the refs.
And they also had an unusual thing. The quarter ended on the penalty, so they assessed the penalty. They kept the teams going in the same direction. They ran the next play with no time on the clock. And now they're taking another timeout for a change of the quarter from first to second quarter, moving the ball back where it goes, going the other way.
Well, the referee is John Cook. The umpire is A.C. Lambert Jr. The linesman is Joe Curtis. The line judge, Joe Richard. Lorian Stapp is a field judge. Billy T is the back judge, and the clock operator, John Buoni.
Now we'll watch the play where the penalty was called. Chapman came up and made the tackle, and that was not a face mask there. If the official said that his hand touched the face mask somewhere, I don't know where it did. It was a good, solid, straight-on tackle. That's 2 plays in a row that the penalty was called on Chapman, and I think he didn't get a very good shake either time, Bert.
Well, it's hard to say. We had a bad view of it. The worst thing about it really had no bearing on the play. The player was down. It didn't twist his neck, and I'm one to speak about necks, but in other words, it really didn't adversely affect the ball player that much.
Chapman came to the sideline briefly during the timeout, and the coach, Stovall, talked to him, and he's back in there saying, all right, don't let it get you. Here we go. Pelluer. Pitch back to Hines, hit hard, knocked down. Boy, those Tigers are pumped up on defense. Sean Burks made the hit.
Well, you know something you're seeing tonight that you haven't seen the first 2 games. LSU's linebackers and secondary are coming up on that running play. Rather than waiting in the defensive backfield and taking on the blocks there, they're coming up and attacking the offensive lineman. That makes all the difference in the world as far as your pursuit.
Sean Burks with a good hit. One of the many prides of Baton Rouge on this LSU team. 2nd and 8. Patterson in motion. Pelluer looking, rolling. And he found his man Patterson down at the 27-yard line, and he caught it. A 13-yard pickup. What happened there on the coverage, man?
Well, that was just a good pass pattern. He had plenty of time to throw. When you have that much time to throw outside the perimeter, as you see, he is an experienced quarterback, and he can throw the ball. Watch him. He's just sitting out here looking for a man, finally finds him and says, okay, time to get it. Gets him on the sideline.
He had Hines clearing out the area, too, so they had to watch for a short pass to him. Now he has twin sets to the left. He gives the ball to Hines. He runs to the right, and there's Barbe and a whole bunch to meet him. Roland Barbe, sophomore nose guard, playing tough. Dubrock, who checked out, comes back on now.
One unusual thing about them is that Pelluer will hand off with 2 hands, which really makes it look almost unnatural. And I don't know why he hasn't had a few fumbles, because it seems like he's always a little bit behind the ball player. So let's see if that has some kind of effect to him.
Stransky and Patterson are the wideouts. Motion now from Patterson. Split backs this time.
The blitz.
Blitz is on. He eludes it temporarily. Caught from behind inside the 25.
And a flag down in the backfield.
And it's Clark and DeWitt.
And that's got to be holding here on this play. LSU with the blitz. And looked like they were going to get to Pelluer behind the line of scrimmage, but didn't get to him. And sometimes that's because some offensive lineman reached out and grabbed the hold of a jersey.
Well, let's hope that's it. Let's don't speak too soon. The way this drive has gone, seems like everything's been advanced on a penalty. So let's just hope. Looks like they're talking to LSU, so. And Washington is backing up the field. You can always tell when they start backing up who it's against. Isn't that right?
And the guy that puts his head down and goes and stands off to the side, you know he's the one that did it.
Well, one good thing about it, they don't have live mics on the field here, and they don't go holding number 61 that you can hear in Tiger Stadium.
You wouldn't hear it here anyhow. All right, the Tigers going to their nickel defense now. Dubrock checks out, and Jefferson in.
That's just as well, because his mother, probably back in Washington, never hears of his son in the offensive line except when he holds. That's a terrible way to be recognized, isn't it?
It sure is. Norman Jefferson, who's a great athlete, a freshman from Marrero, comes in. He's getting more and more playing time. He is in, and DeWitt is still in for Jeffrey Dale, who was taken out when he was shaken up. Now we've got a 2nd and 25 for Washington, and Steve Pelluer drops back. He's got a man open, and it's his tight end again, Michaels, and he gets lumbers down to the 27-yard line, which I think is where it all started, and Mike DeWitt ran him out.
And Wayne, I'll tell you what Washington has done. those two times, that's the same pattern that Weichel was open on the earlier drive when he was wide open. They take their fullback and they'll stick him up in the slot between the tackle and the tight end. They'll split out the tight end about 2 or 3 yards, just flex him a little bit. And that puts added pass coverage responsibility on the secondary, and they're just not picking up the right man on the crossing pattern. The man's supposed to pick up the tight end, is staying there to pick up the fullback and not covering it.
Toby Caston, the freshman from Monroe, checks in now. 3rd and 9, big play.
Here comes the blitz.
Here they come, and there he rolls. He's chased. Pallure can run. He's 6'3", big guy, caught from behind, out of bounds, big run. Well, Chapman finally caught him, but he picked up 8 yards. Now let's see how much they have to go. They're short of that first down.
They sent it in the field goal team.
And guys, I tell you, for all the penalties that have been called on this drive, there are some that have not been called. Watch, you'll see Pallure comes back and he rolls to the left. Hines is going to be downfield trying to block someone, just grabbing onto a jersey. You missed the end of it, but he had a hold of Ricky Chapman's jersey for 2 or 3 seconds before Chapman got away from it.
And Chapman made the play to prevent the first down. A 35-yard field goal attempt by Jaeger, and it is no good. The Tigers have held with 12:58 to go in the second quarter, leading 17-7. And the Tiger defense answered the challenge, and Chapman, his determination, even though he was held, was able to grab Pallure before he could get that first down and force him out of bounds. Wickersham now has had his instructions. What do you think they told Jeff?
Keep pouring it on. Don't let up now. You know, like the only thing that's gone is the first quarter.
17-7. Pitch back. James, right side, up the side. 13 yards. Albritton knocks him out of bounds.
And we got a Tiger down. Herman Fontenot's down on the field. He was downfield leading on that attack. Mitch Andrews made an excellent block at the point of attack, and Fontenot was down trying to keep the defensive back away from James. I don't know if he got kicked in the face or something. It was difficult to tell because it was right at the end of the play as his back was leaving him that it looked like he became injured.
5 carries for 35 yards for James. Hilliard has 90 yards in 8 carries and a touchdown. Wickersham has a touchdown on a sneak.
And more important than anything, Herman's up, walking around. It wasn't his wheels. Here you see the replay. Gary James coming to the outside. Craig Rathjen coming up, making a block on the outside. There you see Herman Fontenot. He looked like he just hit himself in the stomach, or the defensive back did, when he fell down right there.
Rathjen now is a setback as James goes in motion. It comes back where he started and hurries upfield, and Wickersham is looking for him, and he overthrows Martin.
It's better to overthrow one on the outside than it is to underthrow one.
3 of 8 for 41 yards as that is 1, 2, 3 consecutive, four consecutive incompletions for Wickersham.
That's all right. Don't remind him because he's doing a fine job so far.
I'm reminding you and Doug Morrow.
Well, I used to throw 100 of them, it seemed like. I never threw an out-of-bounds pass that well.
Motion now.
Draw.
Well, they smelled it out pretty good.
Well, really, had the blockers just gone ahead and moved on and pressed on, we probably would have had some running room. They were standing in Rathjen's way on that one play, and he was trying to get out of the pack, but eventually a Washington tackler came up and made the play on him. Herman Fontenot comes back in the game.
Jimmy Bowman was a flanker in motion. He had come in for Fontenot. Now they've got a 3rd and 5. Twin sets to the top of your screen. Now motion brings Fontenot down. Wickersham drops. He's got some time. Dumps it off to James. Look at that little guy go. Boom. Leapart finally runs him out of bounds. The fans want a flag for a late hit. 15 yards for James.
And Leapart's a tough cookie. Here you see the screen to the left. Wickersham drops back. He sells the screen pretty well. Clint Berry just buried his man. His name's appropriate. And James with a good cut to the inside. and simply outruns the secondary. And boy, he takes that lick, I believe, out of bounds.
He did take a lick out of bounds, no doubt about it, but he comes back for more, this time on the right side. To the 40. Joe Kelly brings him down after 9.
Gary James and Dalton Hilliard each week impress me more and more. Gary James just hit that track, blowing and going, and he picked up 9 yards all on his own.
2nd and 1. 11:28 to go, second quarter, 17-7. The Tigers of LSU lead the Huskies of Washington. We're in Tiger Town. The stadium is jam-packed. Rastjen is the fullback. James in motion. Twin sets to the top of your screen. Rastjen, quick hitter to the 35. Well, that gives them a fresh start, 1st and 10. Well, that offensive line is blowing off there, Jen.
I say that's a pretty good play when you just run right at them and pick up 5 yards against a good football team with a strong interior, 3-man interior. All lettermen coming back, all starters. And that's supposed to be the strength of that team, and LSU ran right at it and just ran them out of the ballpark.
They're not a big defensive line. Madsen's 252, Browning 245, and Holmes 245. Wickersham pumps twice, goes deep. Good play. Good effort, gents, all the way around.
It really was. And the only thing that didn't enable that play to work was the fact that Durrell just didn't get around that defensive man. He had him faked out so much he was standing flat-footed, and he literally had to run over him to get past him.
Well, Leaphart, number 24, has been a very busy guy tonight. He's tough on the run, and he plays good defense against the pass.
And there again, he showed that he does have speed.
Now it's Eric Martin to the top of your screen. And Fontenot goes in motion. And it's James to the 30. I tell you, James is looking more and more like Crazy Legs Hirsch. His knees go in 2 or 3 different directions at once. His hips are twirling. His feet are chomping.
Well, see, Wayne, there are a few of us up here that are going to say, who is Crazy Legs Hirsch, and what did he look like?
I guess you're right.
Fortunately, I went to Los Angeles last year and had an opportunity to see some old film of him.
Crazy
Something
Legs?
you probably can relate to. Old film.
Yeah, you're right. Charlie Chaplin and Crazy Legs Hirsch. 3rd and 5. James says, well, I think I'll go back this way. Wickersham dropped way back. Look.
Good shot.
Hot. Down to the 10. Eric Martin. And Wickersham throws a strike. 22 yards.
And this week, they're beginning to do a lot of different things. You haven't seen us just swear into Eric Martin this year. All you've seen are the outside patterns, the short outs, the hooks, and things like that. They're mixing it up. They're bringing in a couple of combination patterns where they hook the back up, send Martin to the inside. And there you see, it is successful when worked right.
1st down on the 9. James, head down, is hit hard. He runs into a wall at the 6-yard line. Tough run. 2nd down at the 6. Krakowski again on the hit. He's tough, too. He's a very busy, strong side linebacker at 6'2", 235. He and Leaphart and Kelly, they come to play.
And that was a great hit because James had the seam, and it was wide open in front of him. Krakowski came up at the last second and just stood up James, stopped him for no gain from the point of attack.
He's a tough inside linebacker. Fans shouting, they want more. So to the Tigers. Wickersham looks left. He's got time. He's chased now. Uh-oh. Sack time at the 15. 10-yard loss. Tony Lewis, defensive tackle, chasing him down. Well, what did he do there, Bert? Take a little, just too much time looking off to the left, nobody open?
Well, I'm not sure he was sure. Well, I know he wasn't sure exactly where he wanted to go with the ball, probably because they were covered. The only problem I have with him on that play is that he probably should have just thrown the ball up in the stands. If anything, gone forward after he decided he couldn't get rid of it.
There was a hot dog vendor in the 3rd row. Would have liked to have had that one. All right. Fumble. Suddenly, things are going backward. Fontenot has a shot if he can turn the corner. Gets down to the 20. What an effort. They lost 6 yards on the play, but thanks to Herman Fontenot, otherwise it would have been 26.
Well, that was a great effort by Fontenot, but Jeff did something I think in retrospect he wouldn't want to do again. He had the ball in one hand, and rather than tuck it up when he got hit, he tried to flip it behind his back. Fontenot had to pick it up off of the ground, and I'm sure that Jeff Wickersham's going to get some conversation from Jerry Stovall about that, and I think he probably learned his lesson by doing it that one time.
37-yard field goal attempt by Betanzos. So from a 1st and 9, the Tigers go to a 4th and 20. 37-yard attempt. The ball is down. The kick is up and no good. A dying Quayle off to the right, and the Tigers stutter and stop.
Well, really, on that last play that he went to Fontenot, it was the reverse. He was just trying to get the ball to the man that originally was supposed to carry the ball. As you see, here he is. He's down. He's trying to see. There's the reverse man. No, it's not. Or yes, it is.
Yep.
He's coming around. He wouldn't be back there unless he was trying to get the ball, and he makes an excellent effort just getting back to almost the line of scrimmage and getting them in position to try to kick a field goal.
It was Madsen, the defensive end, who grabbed him. 6 minutes, 13 plays in the drive, and 2 rolls and no coffee. 7:17 to go, and 17-7 the score, Tigers. There goes Michael in motion, and Pelluer drops. Wide open. That guy's pretty good at getting open, I'll tell you that, for a fellow who didn't catch a pass last year.
Well, Don James has been doing a lot of things, and the one thing that I see they're doing now is they're taking advantage of the linebacker drop of LSU. All week, Jerry Stovall told them that you've got to get back, you've got to defend the pass, and they aren't doing that. They're getting back, but the tight end just has a little bitty delayed cross route where he comes over underneath and picks up 7 and 8 yards.
Carl Wilson is in. Pelluer's 10 of 13 for 88 yards, 1 interception. Patterson in motion. Pelluer has Patterson wide open at the 30, and he's knocked down at the 32, 33-yard line. Caston is in there leading the charge. Toby Caston.
Same type of thing. And those passes will work. It's tough to be disciplined enough to just continue with that passing game, but they will work if you just continue to use them and continue to switch your receivers on them. And what they'll also do, Wayne, is set up that longer pass.
Well, thus far, they have eschewed the long pass in their offense this year. Michaels now to the right side for a strong right formation and an eye. And that's Ron Jackson.
I'm interested in seeing what this penalty is here. Now, I think they might call a clip, or they may call piling on.
Or they may call something else.
But those are the 2 obvious ones there. It looked a little bit late on the pile, and it looked like somebody came in from behind, and once again, Washington's backing up, and that typically is a good sign for us.
Holding is the call. Well, that's a propitious time for that penalty, because it takes a little bit of the air out of the Huskies' balloon.
We forgot how many steps he took.
Yeah, he says, wait a minute here, I forgot the ball.
Well,
I'm going to count him this time.
13, 14, 18, 22. That's what I used to always walk with the referee and tell him when it was against us. And one time it worked.
All right.
17 yards instead of 15.
First down on the 20. I mean, first down and 20 to go. The ball on the 23.
See, it worked again, didn't it?
All right. Single setback and a wing. And he gets the call, and it's Hines to the 26. Now, they didn't get much out of that on first and 20. A little conservative call. 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. 3-yard pickup by Jackson. Ball on the 26 now. Tigers leading as they scored all 17 of their points in the first quarter. Drove down to the 9-yard line here in the second quarter, and then settled for 2 rolls and no coffee as they backed up. Steve Pelluer drops. Green has it, and there's a flag on the play.
That's another one of those passes underneath. Just a short pass to try to get the ball in the hands of a receiver and let him run a little bit with it. Green went an awful long way to catch that for short yardage, and it's going to be another holding penalty against the Huskies.
Wow. Well, that means that the Tigers defense must be giving that offensive line some fits then if they get called holding 2 consecutive plays, or 2 out of 3. And they back it up.
Nope.
They decline it.
They decline it.
Well, would you have done that? I guess so, huh? Make it. No, you'd have taken the penalty, Bert?
Yes, I would have taken a penalty on that because you've got 5 minutes left in the game. I think you can still stop them. Here you see. Made a good play on it. Limited yardage on the game. Good effort jumping over the man, not getting a penalty on us. And now you have 3rd and 14.
All right, 3rd and 15. Pelluer drops. Oh, he's got Patterson wide open, and they get the first down. And I mean, he was wide open. Alex Clark defending.
Well, I tell you, Patterson did a job on Alex Clark on that Patterson. He sold Clark on the idea that he was going to run an inside pattern, and more particularly a post pattern, and Clark was running to the post to stay with him. As soon as Clark took that inside step to go to the post, Patterson cut it back to the outside. Pelluer had the ball right on the money, and Bert Jones was right about not taking that penalty.
And they needed 15, and they picked up 19. That's a big play, as the Huskies are down by 10, and they have plenty of time. 4:20 to go in the half. Pelluer again goes to work. He rolls this time, and there's a flag being thrown. Pelluer is running, and he's going to gallop out of bounds, as it was DeWitt over there and Toby Caston. But the flag was thrown early as that play developed.
They might call that a chop block. That's a design rollout play. Don James got that from the old Paul Brown system, I think, which his brother played for the Cleveland Browns a number of years, where they'd drop back where they felt the pass rush or a blitz were coming, and then all of a sudden they'd take the 5th step, and then they'd wheel it around and run to the outside, and it gives them a good opportunity to get outside the perimeter and have plenty of time to throw. And when they do that, they have one designated hitter to chop the end. That means block him into the inside of the line and let him come inside.
Well, that was a good explanation of the chop block, but the penalty was holding.
Well,
I wish it had been the chop block, don't you, Doug?
Let's watch it right here. You see how they block all the way down?
Yep.
And the back comes in, blocks the outside man just in. They can call it holding, they can call it chopping. I don't know what they call it, but it was out of position and they got the penalty.
I could see it. 5-yard penalty, 1st and 15. Blitz, Lewis. He caught it. While they beat the blitz, as Robinson caught the pass, Lewis was shooting the gap, and Jefferson made the hit. 14-yard pickup. They needed 15. What do you think of that play, beating the blitz?
Well, that's one of the right plays to do it. If the quarterback has a chance to get rid of the ball, if he doesn't see the blitzer coming, it's another thing. But Pelluer saw him, had a chance to dump the ball because Robinson was looking for it quickly enough. But it's a pretty close situation. They almost got him that time.
So they picked up 19 and 14 on consecutive pass plays, and there's DeFeo, the fullback, going off right guard and tackle, picking up the first down, and it's John Fritchie making the hit. Fritchie from Baton Rouge. Pelluer has 13 completions in a row. This guy gets in a groove, doesn't he?
He sure does.
They
Throws
haven't
a lot
all
of
been
short passes, does a lot of the things just right.
So he had 15 in a row last week. He has 13 in a row now. Bert Jones, I believe you hit, what, 17 in a row one time? Or?
That was a long time ago.
Pelluer wants a lot this time, and he's got Patterson, and he dropped the ball.
Alex Clark made a good play on that one.
Clark got his hand in there, evidently. It was a perfectly thrown ball. At least I think it was. What do you guys think?
I think it was as perfect as you can throw it. The ball was right there on the money, and Patterson had about a half step on Clark, and Clark made a dive right at the end of the play. We couldn't tell from here whether he got his hand on it or not, but it looked like he did. Here you're going to see it from ground level. Pelluer laid the ball out just perfectly, and they got that single coverage, and Clark just reached up, and I think he batted the ball down to the ground.
2nd and 10. Pelluer is going to the air again. He's being chased this time. Barbay's after him. Kiddick is after him, and he goes out of bounds.
And another flag.
Eric Kiddick may get called for getting him after he got out of bounds.
No.
No?
I don't believe.
I think it might have been another clip.
I think you're right. I think I just saw the official motion clip down there. Either that or he was dusting off his britches.
Knickers. Those are knickers they wear down there.
Knickers. Well, I'll tell you, the penalties have hurt the Huskers. 2:45 remaining here in the second quarter. They've been called for holding twice, a clip. 17-7 Tigers lead, and that lady is viewing with alarm the incident on the field.
She knows what a clip is?
No, but she knows when she's on camera. All right.
You know, sometimes when you hold and you clip and you do all this stuff regularly, that's the reason you have good pass protection, which may be why Ballure has so much time to throw the ball.
The clip is the call from referee John Cook. Moves the ball clear back to the Washington 40-yard line.
They've gained about 700 yards on this drive so far, haven't they?
They're still in their own backyard with a 2nd and 32. But they're dangerous in these long yardage situations, as they've evidenced. This time they're picking up the charge. Ballure throws out of bounds. Lance Dodson, the right tackle for Washington, is 6'4" and 280, a senior, and I see his number down there quite a bit. He's doing a pretty good job, number 70.
Yeah, and there you see a freshman, Owen Jefferson. He made an extremely fine play there, but he forgot the penalty. He thought it was 4th down. He went to get the punt.
3rd and 32. Hold 'em Tigers.
Look at the tight end.
Deep, deep, deep to Patterson again, and did he hang on? He did. Fantastic catch.
Wayne, I don't believe that he did. The ball bounced on the ground.
It appeared that it did hit the ground.
Bounced on the ground. Everybody else in the stadium saw it bounce on the ground, but the official who made the call. Here you see Ballure go back. He laid the ball out perfectly for Patterson. Patterson dove for it, had it momentarily, hit the ground, bounced up, and then he caught it coming out, and now they're calling it back.
They're calling it back.
Now the official who saw it from the middle of the field came over and fortunately had the integrity to point out that it had hit the ground and bounced up off the ground.
We might point out that any official can overrule any other official if he thinks he had a better view of the situation. And that is, when you use the word integrity in there, that's exactly what you're using.
Here you see it. Goes down, falls right on the ball, bounces up, keeps his eye on the ball all the time, as good receivers are doing, pulls it in.
I'll give him credit for keeping his eye on the ball. 4th and 32. Remember, their punting average is 29 yards. Zimmerman standing on his 25. They're playing him short. They're looking for a wedge shot. It's high. That's what it is. It's a sand wedge. Gathered in on the 37 by Hobley, and the Tigers are in business.
No backspin?
A 23-yard punt, no backspin. Oh, brother, that must make Don James' hair turn gray every time they have to punt the football.
You know, Doug, you were an old kicker. You remember when you were practicing and you felt like you hit it off your knee?
Not only in practice.
2 minutes and 18 seconds. Will the Tigers think offensively here? They have Rathjen in along with Lang. I think, no, that's James, excuse me. Dumps it off. There he's going. Here he goes to the 45. That's the Tiger offense from 1982.
That's it. That's what we've talked about for 2 games. Up until this game, we had talked an awful lot, and Burt was not with us last year, Wayne, and didn't have a chance to see how diversified they were. LSU has really expanded their offense this week, and they've used a lot of things which have made them an exciting offensive football team.
1st and 10. James gets the call again. This time a good play behind the line as he's knocked down by Ron Holmes, who penetrated and hit him at the ankles. No, that's not fair. He stopped the momentum.
That's pretty good defensive play right there to run through your blocker and catch him from behind and trip him up with one hand.
2nd and 11. Fontenot comes in with a play. Clock is ticking. Minute and 36 to go in the half. 17-7 Tigers. They need a little real estate here. Move that football. Lang and James in the backfield. Wickersham looks to the right. It's Eric Martin. to the 26. 19 yards, and Wickersham is throwing fastballs.
And that's a good pass to throw against that. Washington trying to play a little prevent defense or three deep defense. Here you're going to see Wickersham come back, and Martin is coming down and hooking right in front of the camera, right in that spot in front of the cornerback, behind the linebacker. He made the catch and had plenty of cushion after he made the catch.
And we'll take a timeout with the score 17-7, a minute 11 to go. Back in a moment. All right, back in action in Tigertown. James is in. I don't think Hilliard's played since that 65-yard run. James is lined up on a wing to the left with two wideouts and Fontenot in motion topside. Here comes James around, and he's hit hard, and it's Krakowski, Joe Krakowski, who came up and penetrated and slowed him down. Well, what do you think, man? What are you going to do?
Well, I think you can go to the well one too many times. The second time he can't land up on the wing. First time he ran that kind of buck sweep reverse. He did it again. They were ready for it that time.
41 seconds. Wickersham. Pressure's on. Pass is deflected. No good. Wow. Corral made a good diving effort. 31 seconds remaining. It's 3rd and 5 on the 21. Well, they were down to the 9 before and backed up to the 20 and missed the field goal. This is another scoring opportunity, and a 10-point lead is not a lot against a team that can pass the ball the way the Huskies can pass it. The Tigers need something here. 31 seconds to go. 3rd and 5 on the 21. Wickersham brings them out.
They have one timeout. They've got to get out of a play quick if they make a completion for a first.
Lang and James. James is on the wing. The line gives him time. Incomplete. He had him. He had Martin on that slant and threw her low and incomplete. And now we have 4th down. Ball on the 21. It'll be a 38-yard field goal attempt by Betanzos. What would you think of that play, gents?
I liked it. It's a delay pattern underneath. Martin came down. James went down and hooked about 15 yards, and Martin went down and came up underneath him. The ball's got to be thrown well enough. I think that was thrown well enough for him to catch, but you got to make those tough catches too.
All right, 38-yard attempt by Betanzos. The kick is up, and it is good. Let's take a break with 20 seconds remaining. 27, the Tigers, back in a moment. Knuckleball kickoff by Betanzos, and it's gathered in by Jacques Robinson at the 35. Why do you think they used that kickoff on this play with 16 seconds remaining?
Well, remember the Florida State game last year? Right before the end of the first half, they did the same thing. They really, if Washington gets the ball in good field position, they don't have enough time to do anything with it. If they fumble the sky kick and LSU recovers it, they've got it in excellent position to try one play and then go for a field goal or go for a field goal immediately.
All right.
Actually, it looked almost like an onside kick effort there. It wasn't really a too high sky kick, and it almost hit the ground before he caught it.
Steve Pellure drops, rolls, throws it deep, and it ought to be intercepted, and it isn't. Well, I shouldn't say ought to be. Well, I will say that it might have been. It was Clark over there along with Hobley. They had good coverage, and Pellure just addressed that one to whom it may concern.
Well, that's a good job if he makes the catch, which he almost did. He had a player around the football there. He also had 2 Tigers around it.
Always a chance for a little pass interference call, and that took 11 seconds off the clock. So the Tigers with a 20-7 lead, 17 of those points in the first quarter. And they've played a good, tough game on both sides of the ball, and the Huskies are going to run it, and they'll go to the locker room trailing by 13. All right, the crowd likes it. As you can hear, the sellout crowd here in Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge. Bert, what do you think?
I think the Tigers are playing LSU football, as they say, leading 20-7 at the half. They came out utilizing the short passing game, and it's worked. It's worked very well for them. They've thrown combination pass patterns to the outside receivers. Jeff Wickersham has got a good feel of the way he feels underneath the center, and he's doing a good job. You can contribute that to LSU's defense. They're playing with a little more enthusiasm, getting up, and they're rolling with it.
And looking at the other side of the coin, LSU has had scoring opportunities that they have missed. They easily could have had 2 more touchdowns than they have right now, and really the game could have been a walk-away at this point if the Tigers had been able to convert a couple of things.
LSU has not punted in the ball game, so that shows you how they've been moving the football. And as you pointed out, they had a first down on the 9 and failed to capitalize, and they had another first down deep and had to settle for 3. So now we're ready to go as the Tigers will receive the kickoff from Jaeger for Washington. Good kick. James drops it and downs it, and the Tigers will put the ball in play, 1st and 10 on the 20. Hilliard carried 8 times for 90 yards. James 10 times for 57. Wickersham is 7 of 15 for 113 yards.
And Hilliard is back in. We were talking at halftime, Wayne, about whether he had been injured or if he just got tired when he made the 65-yard run. He's back in to start the second half. So if he got hurt, he got well fast. I assume that he got tired.
Martin caught 3 for 57. Fontenot 2 for 25, and James 2 for 31. All right. Away we go. The Tigers with the football. Lang is the fullback. And Hilliard gets the call and slants up to the 25. Pearson makes the hit. J.C. Pearson, cornerback on the weak side. All right.
Here's Dalton Hilliard. What a fine back he's turning into. Or he is.
He is exciting. And James is exciting in a little different style. 205-pound James, 197-pound Hilliard. A little shift in the defensive line. Hilliard gets the call, and he's smothered by Kurkowski, the linebacker. Oh, he is tough. Joe Kurkowski, he really plugs that hole, doesn't he?
He certainly did on that one, and he came in there with his arms out ready to play.
Flag on the play in the line. LSU's left side jumped a little ahead of the count, and the official threw the flag. Washington, I imagine, would refuse the penalty and put LSU in the 3rd down and 4 situation.
I would imagine. We'll see. They're chatting about it.
It looks like, Wayne, looks like Washington's adjustment on defense is that they're going to roll up into what I call a double zone, in the sense that both corners come up and attack the outside receivers, and the safety play the outside. They're trying to double team the outside men because LSU's had success throwing to them. They haven't done that in the first half, and now they're doing it now. 2 plays in a row.
All right, and by the same token, they're sure chatting about this motion penalty here. By the same token, Stransky has caught 3, Michael 4, and Patterson 4 as Pelur has hit the outside men too. They are refusing the penalty, the motion penalty. So it's 3rd and 4. The Tigers. Jerry Stovall says hello to some folks in the crowd. Head coach at LSU, 19-15-2 going into this game. Don James is 69-26 at Washington, 94-45-1 overall. LSU is 4 of 6 in third down conversions. Washington is 1 of 6. Hilliard in motion. Oh, Wickersham almost falls, regains his position and throws to Fontenot a strike. And how's that?
You know, that play only gained 5 yards, but I think that's the greatest play of the game. I want you to tell them why, Bert.
Because it picked up 5 yards and they only needed 4.5. It was a combination pass route, something they haven't been doing, and here you see it. And watch, there you go. The center stepped on Jeff Wickersham, and he made an excellent play just getting back. It can be one of the most embarrassing moments of your life. I did it against Alabama, just fell down.
1st and 10. Fontenot caught only 8 passes last year. He's very active this year. A new look in the offense as Dean Browning that time makes the hit, the nose guard, and puts a stop on the Tiger. Hilliard crashed right into the middle there and picked up just about 1 tough yard up to the 32, just beyond the 32-yard line. It's 20-7. The Tigers leading early in the 3rd quarter here with a 2nd and 9 on their own 33-yard line. Ball is between the 32 and 33. They mark it according to the advance line. Now Lang, the pride of past Christian, Mississippi, is the fullback at 200 pounds, and he's a good one. And Hilliard gets the call. Lang throws the block. Hilliard hits the outside and spins and turns up to the 38. He did a 360-degree turn, but Holmes and Albritton smothered him and wrapped him up and took him to turf.
He really did. And you mentioned Gene Lang. What an excellent blocker as well as a ball carrier that he is. Every time you see Hilliard and James carry that ball, you can just about bank on it that he's made the key block.
And I tell you, Washington's really made some adjustments this half. They used 4 down linemen the last play. Their normal defense is 3 down, and they got 4 down this time.
Hilliard now is 101 yards and 12 carries. Wickersham, the blitz is on. He unloads it, incomplete. Well, he got rid of it anyhow, Bert.
Yes, he did. Good effort on Jeff Wickersham's part. And Washington is changing it up. They're not necessarily using, they're getting 4 and 5 men down in 3-point stance, making the offensive lineman wonder who is the lineman on this play.
Now in punt returns, Green is back there. He's only returned for a 1 1/3 yard average, so he's averaging 4 feet per punt return, fellas, and that is not very extravagant. Here's the first punt of the night, and it's a shank job. Wow, down on the 40-yard line. It'll roll dead at about the 38 or 39. And what happened to Clay Parker? A 23-yard kick. Is that contagious, what the Huskies have been doing?
That may be Zimmerman's disease. He caught it from the Washington kicker.
I think he was allowing for his shoe, and he forgot that he took it off.
Wow, a 23-yard punt. Well, maybe he's a little rusty from being on the bench all night. That's his first one. That's tough on a punter to go back and unload 123-yard when you've had all night to crank up. All right, the Huskies with the football on the 39-yard line. Single setback, wing right, 2 wideouts, and Pelur drops. Over the middle, Michael is wide open again to the 46 or 7-yard line where he's upended. But once again, the tight end drifting off the line, a little delay there, and he's open.
Well, LSU's dropping their linebackers so deep. Here you see Pelur come back, and Michael is just going to sift into the area on the other side of the center, and the linebackers have dropped so deep they've vacated it. Now, from LSU standpoint, they made Michael pay for that reception. He's come out with an injury. I don't know how serious, but he's out of the game.
Caston put a very good hit on him, the youngster. There's Hines, and he is stopped at the line as Melanson wrapped him up along with Kiddick. Eric Kiddick, the 250-pound junior, wrapped him up too. Good hit. As you can see, Pelur was hitting 74% of his passes coming into this ball game, and he's not doing too bad right now. That one interception was a big one. Now we have a 3rd and 8. Tiger defense digs in. What do we have? 3rd and 1 it was. They had a mistake there on the scoreboard. 3rd and 1 and a quarterback sneak by Pelur. And let's see what happens when they unpile. That's a big job for Dan Ernestine, the center, on that sneak, isn't it, Bert? When your center has to do a good job for you.
It really is. I used to kind of lean on which one side or the other on the center to tell him which way I was going to come, just trying to read the slant of the defensive line. And he just has to come out, blow him off the ball, and give you the room to get the first.
You usually run that on a quick count, a sneak?
No, I really didn't. Primarily because you wanted to have it kind of rhythm so they could get just a rolling start.
Just stretching that chain out there, and they got it. Well, Pallur's 6'3" and about 210 pounds, so he's got the beef. Doug Morrow and Burt Jones with the commentary. Wayne Mack with the story of the game tonight from Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. 10:50 to go in the third quarter. The Tigers leading 20-7 over the Huskies. The Tigers lost to Florida State, defeated Rice. The Huskies beat Northwestern and Michigan. Fans here giving vocal support. Hunt in motion. Pallur falls down. That's it. In college ranks, you don't have to be touched. Once your knee hits the ground, that's it. School's out, and he loses 8 yards.
It's a good thing for LSU, too, because Troy Roten is the tight end. He was wide open downfield. Now, if Pallur had thrown the ball to him, LSU may have had a chance to get someone closer to him by the time the ball got there. But he was absolutely wide open about 17 or 18 yards downfield at the time that Pallur went to the ground.
Whose primary responsibility is a tight end?
Depends on the defense. It can go a lot of different people.
All right, 2nd and 18. Single setback. Draw play gets, whoa, he's working hard. Up to about the 44, Jeffrey Dale comes up to help stuff it along with Clarence Osborne, the freshman. But that was some hard running by Allen, John Allen.
It sure was, because it looks like he stopped right here at the line of scrimmage. But no, it slips that tackle, moves it on up, and as you see, a lot of purple jerseys coming into play here. It looks like a clip right there, too. Boom. Eric Kiddock thought he was hit late and in the back.
3rd and 15. Barbie is on the center's nose. Pallur drops. Here they come, shooting the gap. He gets rid of it, and a flag is thrown. Jeffrey Dale defending. And once again, it was a tight end, Tony Roten.
This is going to be interesting because the flag was thrown in the secondary. All that was a pick play, which is a commonly used play. Every team has it, and I thought Washington executed it very well that time. I don't know if that's what the penalty is.
It's loss of down, which they don't like, I believe. I think the official signal loss of down. Well, a pick play is illegal, but you don't see it called very often by the officials.
Well, it's illegal to run a pick play. However, if you cross receivers and you're not trying to pick somebody, that's okay. And so if you run one but make it look like the other, they're not going to call it on you.
So it comes down to the judgment of the official.
And that is what they called it on, I believe. That's what it is offensive pass interference.
Which is a loss of down and moves them back to a 4th down and 30 yards to go, and in comes the punter. And I'm sure Don James has his heart in his mouth, the coach over there, because their punting game has been ineffective this year, averaging less than 30 yards a punt. And the last one was a 23-yarder.
Norman Jefferson's only standing a little over 30 yards from the line of scrimmage. He's expecting a short kick also.
Zimmerman is standing on his 15, waiting for the snap. It is short. Oh, and caught and gathered in at about the 43-yard line by Hobley, a 28-yard punt.
Well, don't blame Zimmerman. This is Thane Cleland, another kicker.
Oh.
He and Zimmerman have combined to average about 29 yards a kick this year, and he just brought the average down if you can do that.
Well, I'm sure James is looking for somebody who can punt the football. He might have a tryout like they do in the pros.
Well, that's how Roger Carr started out punting on the tryout.
All right, Wickersham gives it to James. He's trying to find some place to go out the side door, but he can't. Good pursuit along the line, and Vince Albritton, the strong safety, ran him out of bounds.
That little boy's enjoying the game, isn't he? Say, hey, Mom.
Say, why are all these people here, and what's going on out there?
He says, go Tiger.
This is the best place I know to come get some popcorn, peanuts, hot dogs, and Coca-Cola.
Well, the fans are enjoying it tonight with a 20-7 Tiger lead with 8:44 to go in the third quarter. A lot of fans watching the football game live. Lang is a setback, and James is a wing, and there he goes around the left side on that inside handoff, and they drop him at about the Tiger 48-yard line. They were not fooled too much by that play. Just some hard running by James. Picked up a little yardage, about 5, really.
We have a player down.
Washington Husky down on the play. As James is getting some pretty good workout tonight. He has 12 carries for 64 yards. Dalton Hilliard has 12 carries for 101 yards. So the boys have divided the workload evenly tonight. Joe Kelly is a player that's shaken up on the play, and he's leaving the scene of the action.
And he's one of those tough inside linebackers for the Huskies. I don't know how much depth they have at that spot, but he certainly has been prominent tonight.
Well, Al James, number 32, is listed as his backup. Yeah, Kelly and Kurkowski are a couple of headhunters.
Listen to this play.
That has to bother the other team a little bit. 3rd and 5. I'll tell you what would bother him even more, a 5-yard pickup by Jeff Wickersham here as he sends his wideouts top and bottom of your screen, and Lang is a fullback. James is a tailback in motion from Fontenot. And James gets the call, trying to turn the corner, and he does. 10 yards chased out by Pearsons and Albritton. What's that attendance figure?
Can you believe a new stadium record? 82,390 tonight, breaking by almost 3,000 the stadium record for the Florida State game 2 weeks ago.
82,390. James gets the call, and he's caught behind the line of scrimmage. A good play. And that is Lynn Madsen, the right tackle, who made the play. Good penetration.
About 5 of that crowd was in there to tackle Gary James behind the line of scrimmage.
It sure did. 81,000 of them shut up in a hurry. 2nd and 15 now. 7:45 to go in the third quarter. The Tigers lead 20-7. Florida next week. Big game. Back to the I formation. Fontenot motion a little bit. Wickersham falls down and covers the ball.
He didn't fall down. That's the second or the third time the center or the guard has stepped on his foot. And that's something that he's going to have to contend with. They're going to have to talk about this. They're going to have to get the man up on the line of scrimmage, or he's going to have to put his feet further away from the center.
Well, now, when you have a quarterback with big feet, I don't know what size Wickersham wears, but there have been quarterbacks who wore like a 14.5 shoe. I don't know. Doug, did you know that?
Somebody has a foot that big?
Honest, a quarterback, too. I could expect that of a tackle, but not a quarterback.
I don't know who y'all are talking about.
3rd and 18, and it's wide, too, that 14.5. Wickersham drops quickly. Look.
What a shot.
Wide open. Eric Martin.
That shows you why I think he's going to be as fine a quarterback as ever played for LSU. Right there. What a pass he threw on that one. 3rd and long, and here he comes up with a corner pattern, and he threw a frozen rope right here for 23 yards. Boom, out of that cannon for an arm. And Eric Martin says, thank you, I'll take it right there.
Well, that woke up that 82,000 again. Hey, here's a pitch back to James. Good block by Lang, cuts inside, gets to the 17. Well, the Huskies are feeling the pressure now as the Tigers are applying it here. 2nd and 1, a 9-yard pickup.
Eric James just gets outside, spreads the defense out, and when he feels right, he cuts it up, and I mean he cuts it up.
15 carries for 74 yards for James. That is Ron Holmes, a starting tackle, leaving the field for Washington. The defensive line shifts. Wickersham gives it to James. This time he goes left, head down, gets inside the 15, but very good pursuit. And it's Stuart Hill and Joe Kelly. Hill is a strong side linebacker, and Kelly comes over from the weak side to help.
That's another LSU first down.
First and 10 on the 14.
LSU's really kind of settled their offense down and gone to a basic running game this half, but they've controlled it well this drive. Martin
to the short side of the field. James to the wide side of the field. Hurdles inside the 10. Leaphart made the stop, but Gary James hurdled the last 3 or 4 yards. Picked up 6.
Now here you're going to see James in the I-back position. He takes the pitch, and he's just going to find the seam, and he gets pretty good blocking, but more than anything, he made the run by himself by jumping over, and there's Joe Leaphart over to make the tackle.
17 carries, 87 yards for James. 2nd and 4 on the 8-yard line. Junius Doral in motion. James gets the call again. Howes inside the 5.
Play as many times as they have tonight and had the success that they've had, they're just overpowering Washington.
And that's just exceptional blocking. They're running it from all kind of different formations. They're running it to the weak side, to the wide side of the field, to the strong side of the formation, weak side. They're just blocking people. That's the difference tonight.
First and goal from the 3.
Touchdown.
Oh, look at that one. 3rd touchdown of the year for Wickersham. Is that a neck in reverse?
You think he got him conscious of that sweep?
Boy, they were all looking for Gary James, and Jeff Wickersham went in untouched. They didn't even see him. I have to think that the Tigers had their offense under wraps the second game, but not the first. Matanzos for the kick. It's good. And the Tigers lead 27-7 with 4:30 to go in the 3rd quarter. We'll be back in a moment. 58 yards, 4 minutes and 21 seconds. Wickersham from 3 yards. His 2nd touchdown of the night. Hilliard scored from 4 yards. Taken on the 5. Green is nailed at the 20. 15-yard return, and Toby Caston, the freshman, led the charge. Well, 27-7, the Tigers lead the Huskies with 4:23 to go in the 3rd quarter. Kallur, who is an accurate passer and who brought his ball club back over Michigan last week in the 4th quarter, scoring 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter, so you can't wrap this one up and send it home yet. Kallur drops. Patterson's open at the 23.
But I think if I were LSU, I would give him all the 5-yard pass patterns and completions he wants.
Let him have that, because LSU is going to be able to make those receivers pay for it. Be one thing if the score was even right now, but when you're up by 20 points, make them pick them up 5-6 yards at a time. They may drop a few. You may knock somebody down.
All right. Patterson again. And he's wrestled to the turf by Alex Clark, senior. 10-yard pickup, 1st down.
But do make them throw it inside. Don't let them complete that one if you don't have to. That's tough when you get somebody out there one-on-one and you make that cornerback cover the receiver in the open field, particularly when you have shifting ball carriers like Mark Patterson.
Next week it's Florida, 82,000 plus here tonight. 1st and 10. What a play. Jock Robinson carried the ball, and he had no more chance than a paper shirt in a bear fight.
And Jeffrey Dale back in the ball game, forcing that play. A great play by Dale.
Well, the Tigers are all over the place now. They are fired up.
Here you see it, trying to get outside, but there's no place to go. Greg Dubrock comes in. It just says, you can't go around my side.
Good to see Dubrock, who's probably over his injuries that plagued him the first couple of games. Patterson goes in motion. Valor has a man open. It's Green, and he snags it at about the 47, and Alex Clark brings him down. 16-yard pickup. You never figure this guy Pallur out of a ball game. Huh? He's tough.
Well, I'll tell you, that was a great pass that he threw. He threw the ball well before Green's break, and he had the ball right on the right spot. When Green made his break and looked back, the ball was there to be caught because LSU had pretty good coverage downfield on him that time.
27-7 Tigers, 2:42 to go in the third quarter. 3 wideouts in the game now. Into the ground for Green, and did he catch it? The official says he did at the 46.
I'm not sure Jerry thinks he caught it. What do you think?
I think Jerry might disagree with that call.
I wonder what Jerry's saying right now. Leave me alone. I know he didn't catch that ball.
I think he says, you're picking on my young men. 2nd and 5. All right, Pallur looks down the line, and somebody isn't set right, or he doesn't like the defense, but he takes the snap, and he's got Patterson and overthrows him. That play looked like a little bit of beef stew.
Well, it was a little bit of beef stew, but it was potentially a very good play because he read LSU's blitz there. They've been tipping it in the last couple of games where they come up a little bit closer, line up to the line of scrimmage. He told his back to get up in position to block this man. I'm going to run a quick slant on both of my outside receivers, put some one-on-one. If he catches it, it's a good chance for a touchdown.
All right, good analysis by Burt Jones. Doug Morrow, along with yours truly, just tying it together here. Once again, Pallur giving a signal, and he calls a timeout. All right, let's take a break. 27-7 Tigers, 1:59 to go, third quarter. Back in a moment. The crowd making it tough for Pallur, no doubt. If he wanted to audibilize, I doubt if he could do it. He dropped back. Here they come. They're picked up, though. He's got time. He's hit as he throws incomplete. It was Rydell Melanson. Bang, bang. A flag is on the turf.
Melanson did a pretty good job that time. Washington, I think, picked the blitz up very well. Melanson was blocked, or had a man to block him, and simply ran over him and got to Pallur anyway. That's the type of thing that can really hurt you. Here you see Pallur goes back. Melanson's coming on the right side and simply knocks Jock Robinson down and forces Pallur to drop the ball out there a little bit early. Just good individual effort.
But he was trying to get it to the tight end, Roten, too.
And he was.
Minute and 51 to go, and the Huskers have to punt, and it's white knuckle time for Coach Don James with their punting average of less than 30 yards. Standing on the 39, who is it this time? Hey, that's the best one of the night. Into the end zone, a 46-yard punt.
And wouldn't you know, when he gets one 46 yards, it goes in the end zone, doesn't stay in the field.
Well, that's Thane Cleland in there punting on that one. And he'll probably get a gold star after his name or be player of the week for Washington after that punt, because their punting has been miserable.
Well, when you think about it, it was 46 yards into the end zone, but when they bring it out 20, it makes it 26, and it's not that good of a punt.
Yeah, but when you've been punting 28 yards, that must feel good, even though it's wrong. Hey, don't tell me with that kind of an average you're going to try to finesse a punt.
I thought that's what they were doing all the way along.
All right, Hilliard is a setback. Gets a call. Gets the ball. You know, he's running. Leaphart drives him out. He seems to be laboring a little bit, doesn't he?
He seems to be a little bit. But you note here, LSU came up with a new formation that time. They had 2 flankers and 2 tight ends, both sides, and 1 back offense, but had Hilliard in the running back spot. They didn't keep the fullback in there. They had Hilliard in at the running back spot.
Now Curtis checks out a tight end, and Rathjen checks in. And we have a 2nd and 4. Minute and 32 to go, third quarter. Tigers lead 27-7 over the Huskies of Washington. Hilliard to the 29. Madsen on the stop, along with Ron Holmes. They have small defensive linemen. The heaviest, 250. Coach Jerry Stovall was hoping for 95-degree temperature and 110-degree percentage humidity tonight. He didn't get that. It's a beautiful night for football, but the Tigers are doing all right without any help from the weather. 3rd and 1. Hilliard is the lone setback, and he gets the call for the right side. Plunges over the 30. I'll tell you, he just took a plunge for that one.
He just went for the first and got it.
Yep.
And it's a good thing for Washington that he decided to go for the first, because LSU had a pretty good seal, and if he had cut outside with a block from Fontenot, and Fontenot was in a position to do it, he may have gone a long way. Maybe he remembered the first quarter and he didn't want to get tired again, so he just decided to go ahead and dive in there.
65-yard run would tire almost anybody out. 15 carries for 113 yards for Hilliard, 18 carries for 93 yards for James. Motion. Wickersham backpedals quickly. Sets up a screen to Hilliard, but they crack right through and break it up. And that is Ron Holmes in there to get that one. Good work by the tackle, along with Joe Krakowski, the strong side linebacker.
And good play there by Joe Kelly, too. He was in there to force Hilliard to make a cut before he wanted to.
All right, we've reached the end of the third quarter with a score. The Tigers of LSU 27, the Huskies of Washington 7. Back in a moment. This is the fourth quarter. Putting this into perspective, the Tigers of LSU, an uneventful victory over Rice last week. They're facing a team that's ranked 9th in one poll, 7th in another. The Tigers have them down 27-7 as we start the fourth quarter. Is this a big game? You bet. Wickersham. 2nd and 12 play. Throws. Oh, Martin is open again.
And it'd be another 15 yards for hitting out of bounds.
Bestie Jackson hit him after he crossed the line after a 23-yard pickup.
And to watch Jeff Wickersham throw a pass like that makes me grin from ear to ear. He can throw it, and they just need to turn him loose. Look at him go back here. And here comes that cannon he possesses on a 25-yard out. That is a finely thrown football.
And it appeared that he was looking to his right and then came back to his left with a pass.
And we might get 15 yards on top of it.
Well, there they go, the long walk. The Huskies have been hurt by penalties tonight. And there was one. They picked the wrong spot for that one, right under Jerry Stovall's nose.
With an official standing on both sides of it.
Yep.
Well, if I were Jerry now, I would sit there and throw it again.
All right, let's see. The ball is on the 33-yard line of the Huskies. They're feeling the pressure applied by the Tigers of LSU. 6 seconds into the fourth quarter, 27-7. First down, a shift, and what do we have, encroachment?
Somebody on offense moved there, but just as important, it might give them opportunity. Washington was coming up with a little bit of change there. It looked as if they were in a blitzing formation on defense, and if the offensive coaches can get that into Jeff, they might have an opportunity to go with it.
So when Washington shifted, they teased one of the Tigers to move. First and 15, or second and 15.
Looks like they've come out of the blitz now.
Wickersham looks right, comes back. Uh-oh, help, somebody. Yes! It's caught at the 5! Robert Leaphart deflected it. Fontenot caught it, 33 yards.
Here you see, Jeff is looking all over the field for someone, and then he finds his man downfield and does a good job throwing it to him. The receiver probably should have come back to him on that one play, but when it's going your way as it is for the Tigers tonight, you see what can happen.
That's a new play put in for this week by Jerry Stovall. Boy, Fontenot's been busy. Hilliard is racked up at the 5 by Dean Browning, the nose guard. Well, that was a deep hole with a dull shovel. Second down at the 5.
I think that's the most Washington's defense has controlled the line of scrimmage on any one play tonight. They pushed LSU's offensive line back, if anything, just stood them straight up.
I would sure like to see Jeff Wickersham get a touchdown pass, because that would be the only thing he needs to break for this season. In other words, get the ice flowing his way. Got a double slot to this side. Looks like pass.
He's looking this way, and now he's looking at the turf. Knocked down on the 15. Well, he looked to the left, and the enemy came in from the right, and the person of Fred Small, the outside linebacker on that side, who cracked through, along with Dean Browning.
Washington did a good job of covering. They had to switch coverage into secondary after the snap, because one of the inside men who was responsible for covering Hilliard got picked off on one of those. It's not a pick play when LSU runs it. It's a crossing pattern. It's a pick play when the other team runs it.
All right.
One of those crossing patterns, he got caught up in the middle.
3rd and 13. Wickersham has a strong left this time. Mitch Andrews a tight end, and what do we have? Somebody moved again?
Looks like the shot clock, as they say, ran out on him. That's 5 yards.
When you get down this deep, is it always man coverage?
Well, typically it is, but when it's 3rd and 20, it's not necessarily man coverage.
Well, they took too much time. You know, this is one thing that Jerry Stovall will address him to, no doubt, if they don't cash in this time, because this is the 3rd time down, in which 2 other times they settle for nothing and 1 time for a field goal. And when you get down this way, you need to go for the juggler. Get those points. All right, let's see. It's caught. Oh, down the sideline. Eric Martin does it again.
And I wish all of you folks listening to this game and watching it could see the look on Bert Jones' face right now, because that's the look of a quarterback who could throw that pass, seeing another quarterback who can throw it, do it. What a great throw. Bert, you talk about it.
There's nothing to talk about on this one. All you see is just a fine arm, knowing where he's going with the football and putting it there. Boom, right on the money to Eric Martin. It's just like a finely tuned piano. Touchdown or a nice tune.
And Bestie Jackson is the one that was called on the unsportsmanlike conduct play down here, and he's the one that was beaten on that play by Eric Martin. It is good. The Tigers are stomping the Huskies 34-7. We'll be back in a moment. Jeff Wickersham is 13 of 22 for 214 yards, and he got that touchdown you wanted him to get, Bert.
You bet.
10 plays, 80 yards, 4 minutes to kickoff. Green and Jackson, they'll take it on the 20.
And how about that? LSU kicked it into the end zone, and they were unable to run it back. I don't know why they're sky kicking. This guy can kick it.
Well, the Huskies must feel by now that it's going to be a long flight back to Washington.
It's a long flight, but it's a long game, and they still have 12 minutes and 40 seconds left.
You sound like a coach.
Well, I feel like one.
34-7. You're not going to relax yet?
It's not over till it's over.
All right. Ask Bo Schembechler, huh?
You bet.
Incomplete, intended for Wooten, the tight end. And it was Rydell Melanson who was Johnny on the spot.
You guys notice any difference between the team this week and the one we saw the last 2 weeks? I can't believe it.
Are they just different people in the same uniforms or what?
Fantastic effort we've seen, and on top of that, the LSU's defensive package has been adjusted to stop some of the things people were successful with, and their offense has been expanded, but the effort's been tremendous.
Pelur's 19 of 30, missed his last 4 deliveries, drops back. He's got Patterson. He's not a bad flanker, and he's off to the races. Head him off with a pass. Is that Daniel? Ran him down.
That's Gene Daniel, ran him down from behind, but an excellent job by Patterson. Patterson caught a short pass and turned it into a long pass, and those are the ones that can get a team back in the game quick.
51 yards on that one.
That was a fine play. He just comes up, starts looking for the open field, gets one block downfield, turns it to the outside. I'm glad Mr. Daniel has some speed.
All right, Pelur back in action. Down to the 26-yard line. He whips one over there in front of Dubrock, and it's a tight end again. He likes his tight end. They're going to get overtime. Leroy Lutu, the tight end. He might be one of those Samoans. They got a lot of Samoans out there in Pac-10 football. Stransky has been shut down here in the second half. Number 9, the flanker at the top of the screen. Green is at the bottom. Pelur, the blitz is on. He unloads. There's a collision. Green has it. A fantastic catch and a great throw by Steve Pelur.
That's the way you can beat that blitz, but you've got to have somebody to catch the ball like that, and that was a terrific catch by Green. Here you're going to see Pelur just stepping back, and he sees the blitz coming. He's going to, and it's difficult to go back the way he does and get rid of it that quickly, because he went back turning to the left and had to turn back around. Why he does that, I don't know, but it certainly didn't work well for him. He got the ball out there, and a great catch by Danny Green.
And Pelur sneaks it. Touchdown. Well, I'll tell you, they came back in a hurry, and the Huskies showed some character, 34-13, with 11:20 to go. And what's your analysis really of him as a passer, as a quarterback? How do you look at him? How do you compare him?
I think he's a real good player. I don't think he's got the raw ability that Jeff Wickersham has. He's a lot older. He's more experienced. He has a little bit better feel of the game right now. But as far as motor skills and raw talent, I think that he's not the best in the world, but he's done a fine job.
All right, the kick is up and good, and it's 34-14. We'll be back in a moment. All right, 22 of 33 for Pelur now for 265 yards, and let's see, they're looking for the onside kick with 11:20 to go, but they don't get it. Gathered in on the 5. Gary James looking for room to the 23. Well, what do you think? Would you have gone for the onside kick if you'd have been Coach Don James or not?
I don't think so. He's got plenty of time left in the ball game. LSU's looking for the onside kick. They got LSU down deep. If LSU controls the football, Washington's not going to be able to win the game anyway. So whether they control it starting from the 23-yard line or control it from the 40 45 really doesn't make that much difference.
Well, you know, coaches get criticized when they start playing conservatively with a 20-point lead, and then they get criticized if they start throwing the ball around and lose it. So there's a defensive shot by the Huskies that put it on Gary James pretty good right there.
I'll tell you, those guys came to play.
Yep.
And they're not going to fold up their tents and go home. You're going to see this defensive line come through into the LSU backfield, and they're meeting Gary James 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Tiger offense has got to come off the ball, keep Washington moving back the other way, not the way they went that time. And more important, LSU's got to keep the ball and score some more.
Lynn Madsen made that tackle. Another thing, too, you don't want your ball club to start thinking passively. Wickersham drops. Nothing passive about that. I suppose you like that one, huh, Bert? That's Mackey who caught that one for 17 yards.
I like it a whole lot. I like the end result, but I'm not sure I like the pass because it was thrown into coverage. I think they probably could have utilized a little better play, but they got the play in. He did a fine job. You see the motor skills of being able to throw the ball where you want it, and that's the reason that pass was completed there.
That was a blue darter, no doubt about that. 1st and 10, 10-12 to go in the 4th quarter. First down for the Tigers, Wickersham. James is hugged up again. The same play, it appears, and the same guys got in there. Lynn Madsen read that one beautifully again.
Well, they tried to run a little counter action in the backfield, but it didn't fool anybody. Washington is getting control of the line of scrimmage, and when you do that, really, the counter play doesn't make any difference. If you're having a standoff, it may be one thing. There's a guy, when it was 34-7, he was ready to pack it in, go on home.
I see he's confident.
Wake him up and tell him.
He's relaxed. 2nd and 13. Wickersham goes to the air. And he sent that one to whom it may concern along the sideline.
That's a souvenir ball there. He had a screen trying to set up. They read it, they covered it, and he did the right thing. Put it in about 3 rows up. Pick a pretty girl and give it to her.
Now that's pretty cool, isn't it? Rather than try to run it or try to do something spectacular, you just unload it and bite the bullet and say, well, I'll get him next time. 9:25 to go here in the ball game.
They better do something pretty cool fast, though. They've only got 10 seconds left on the clock. Got to get this play off.
5, 4, got it off. Another one intended for Mackey at the midfield stripe, but not close. So the punting team comes on, and that's been a rare occasion tonight when Clay Parker's had to punt. He's only had to do so once, and that was for 23 yards. Danny Green is back on the 30. They have 10 men up on the line, and they going for the block. Here they come. And it's another shank. What is this?
Very bad exhibition of punting, that's for sure. But good Tiger football otherwise.
30 yards.
14.
Parker with punts of 23 and 30 yards. That's difficult to explain. And Jerry Stovall is discussing this with him at the present time. He's saying, look, you want me to get fired? Punting like that can cost a coach his job. 1st and 10. On the 36. Pallure. Wide open, Danny Green. The flag is down.
I believe you're going to have a holding call. But if that's what it is, it's a fortunate thing for LSU because Green came wide open. Danny Stransky had gone downfield. He was also open. But after Green caught the ball, Stransky went back to try to block one of the LSU safeties coming across. And I think the official saw him stick his hand out. Here you see Pallure come back. And Green's coming across up underneath the coverage. He's wide open. And Stransky's coming in on the right. Apparently, he held his hand out, and the official saw him grab a jersey.
So the 19-yard pickup will be nullified. much to the approval of the 82,000 plus fans here tonight. An all-time LSU Tiger record, breaking the record set in the Florida State game by 3,000.
And he called that a clip. Now, if you're an LSU fan, you're happy with the outcome, but from an objective standpoint, I just don't know that that was a clip. I thought Stransky had made a good block, and if he kept his hands in, I just don't know.
The Huskies have been penalized about 1.5 miles tonight. All right, 1st and 15. On their own 31. Stransky's in motion. Pallur running for his life, and he's down. Big Osborne, Clarence Osborne got him by the shirt. He lost his balance and staggered back to the 15-yard line. Roland Barbay helping with a 17-yard loss.
And Pallur, by his own ability, made the loss much longer than it would have been if he had just gone ahead and got tackled when he first got grabbed.
Ranked in the top 10 by 2 polls, 9th and 7th. The Huskies now face a 2nd and 32, and Michael Brooks checks into the ball game at linebacker for the Tigers. The Tigers have shut down the running game, and the Huskies have had to fly all night. There's Stransky as a target, and it's picked off. Hobley comes up with the ball.
Just a great play by Lifford Hobley. LSU played in a 3-deep secondary coverage that time, and Hobley was in the middle of the field. Pallur went back. He laid the ball up inside his receiver, who was covered anyway, but you see Hobley going from the middle of the field straight back to make a great interception, and LSU now has the ball on their own 42, but they do have the ball, and that's so important in this game.
7:46 to go. The Tigers lead 34-14. Excellent play by Hobley. And how about that? Wickersham goes to the air immediately. Wow, Fontenot is happy. Pearson and Hill on the hit 12-yard pickup.
And so am I.
I'll tell you, Fontenot figured very little in the offense the last 2 years. He caught 10 balls in 2 years, 8 last year. And he's having himself a busy night tonight. Wickersham is 15 of 26 for 243 yards and a touchdown. And he scored twice on the ground himself by a sneak and by a naked reverse or a split roll or a we fooled him. Hilliard gets the call back. Well, that one didn't work, as Lynn Madsen again was in there. They have some tackles that are tough. They're all lightweights, 240 to 250, but they come to play, and they haven't stopped yet with 7 minutes to go in the game.
You'll see Washington's pursuit here. This is that same pitch LSU's run over and over and over. Been very successful with it this evening, but in the last 2 series, Washington has just decided to go to the ball, and their pursuit caught it that time for a loss.
2nd and 13. Lang gets the call straight ahead. Pickup of a couple, and Small stops him. Weak side linebacker, number 5.
He's tough when he's blocking, and he's tough when he's running. He seems to never give up.
You know, a fullback like that takes a lot of beatings in the course of a game that the fans, we don't see, the media doesn't see. He's either blocking somebody or somebody's trying to knock him down while other people get the glory.
That's true, but players like that will make you win.
3rd and 10. 6:11 to go in the ball game. Wickersham has a man. Martin again. And he's brought down by Leiphart. A 17-yard pickup, and Eric Martin is hotter than a depot stove.
And there you see it. Jeff Wickersham, Eric Martin throwing the in, throwing the out, mixing it up. Here you see Dalton Hilliard hooking up, tight end crossing. Here comes Martin behind him. Boom, perfect pass, perfect reception, and another first down for LSU.
If you run into that Leiphart, you're going to know you've been there too. He's tough. First down on the 29-yard line of the Huskies. And there goes Hilliard to the 25. Looked like one of the Tigers jumped a little early on that snap. Browning made the hit. No flag on it.
I think it was just that Lance Smith was so quick off the ball that time. He and the center left at the same time, and everybody else was a little bit slow, but Lance was fast enough to knock his fella about 3 yards downfield, and that's why they get picked up about a 3.5-yard gain out of it.
Billy McGill checks in at middle guard for the Huskies. We have 5:15 to go. The fans are happy here in Tiger Town. Every tick of the clock brings them closer to a win over a ball club that was ranked 9th, 7th in 2 polls. And there goes Hilliard again, picking up yardage, being chased out of bounds. And it's Michael Collins doing the defensive work. Hilliard is now 19 carries for 121 yards. James has lost 5 yards and a couple of carries, so he's 20 for 88. But that shows how the running game has been working tonight. That's 39 carries by the tailback. 1st and 10 on the 18. Jeff Wickersham getting experience tonight against a very good football team. Hilliard that time ran into his own man who was trying to lead the charge for him. Holmes makes the stop.
There's the old familiar, hello, Mom.
That time he stepped right on Jeff Fordham, it looked like, who was trying to pull out and lead for him. The Tigers shaking hands with the fans. 4:35 to go. Look at that clock ticking away. 34-14 Tigers. This was picked as a 1 or 2 point, one way or the other, close game. The Tigers have led all the way.
Here comes the reverse.
Reverse. Doral. Good block. To the 10.
And 2 good blocks that time. One by Wickersham, one by Mike Gambrell.
And Joe Kelly, that hard-hitting inside linebacker, finally brought him down.
Here you're going to see Wickersham's block. That's a pretty good block for anybody, and a great block for a quarterback. Now here you're going to see Doral come up here. Mike Gambrell came across the field, made a good kick-out block on Vestey Jackson. Doral stepped in behind it to pick up another 7 or 8 yards. They're still a little bit short of the first down, but they're certainly a lot closer than they were a little while ago. Junius Doral was a high school running back from Tucson Acadiana High School, was a very highly sought-after running back, and showed why he has that running ability on that play.
LSU has the ball on the, let's see, where are they going to mark it? Are they marking off another penalty? They are. There was a flag we didn't see there, gentlemen. The ball's inside the 5.
Personal foul.
Personal foul on Joe Kelly. Probably for a little extra work on the out of bounds. First goal, 1st and down, 1st and goal from the 5. Hilliard on a slant. He's racked up hard. Picked up about a yard, yard and a half.
But the clock is still running. 4 minutes, 5 seconds.
Are you,
ticking.
Are you relaxed yet, Bert?
It's not over till it's over, I'm telling you. Ask Michigan.
34-14. Tigers lead. Doral comes into the play. What are you going to do here, Doug Morrow?
I want to throw the ball. I want to run a play-action pass.
Play action.
And let him throw it.
All right.
The guy's not open. Throw it out of the end zone.
All right. That's what the boys are looking for.
Bootleg
they're going to the bootleg again, but they read it, but he makes it anyhow.
Or if you had let me have a chance to finish, the second thing I was going to say is run the bootleg.
You see it. I'm not sure it was a called play or not, because you see the tackle. He didn't try to block the end. Jeff just took it on his own. And when you're on a roll, as Jeff Wickersham is today, you can do almost anything.
Well, you know, they give the quarterback the option on that sweep, on the handoff sweep. The quarterback has the option whenever he wants to keep the football and run it himself. It's only his decision. He doesn't tell anybody else.
He's going to get his name in the papers, Wickersham is. The kick by Betanzos is no good. Well, you want to say something like that? Miss could be critical, Bert?
Nope, I'm beginning to relax a little bit now.
All right. 40-14 with 3:30 to go.
You think we'll try an onside kick?
I'll tell you, Wickersham, let's see, he scored on a sneak, he scored on 2 rollouts, and he passed for a touchdown.
Not bad for a young kid, as they say.
Yeah, he may get to play some if he keeps that up, huh?
Might get a game ball, get his name in the paper. President Reagan may call him. You never can tell.
If I see him, I'm certainly going to congratulate him on a great game.
Well, it has been a great game. The progress that he's shown since his first half against Florida State has been phenomenal, hasn't it?
Really has. Being a quarterback myself, you can just see him getting his feet under all the time. A little more confidence, a little more poise. There you see 10 plays, 58 yards, 4 minutes, 16 seconds, and a 3-yard run.
40-14 with 3.5 to go. Florida next week, and that game we'll be doing for Tiger Vision and also on the network. It'll be seen throughout a lot of the nation. So the Tiger fame will spread after this victory. You can bet on that. Betanzos kicks it. Green takes it at the 5.
And look who's making the tackle.
Is that Betanzos down there?
Yes, sir.
Along with Tony Nephew. 17-yard return. Betanzos is 5'7" and about 160 pounds soaking wet. He ought to stay out of situations like that.
You know, I think he got mad because he missed the extra point. Or either that or got mad at the referee because he thought the extra point was good, and they called it no good. Here you see Green taking the kick. He had little open daylight there, and there Betanzos came way downfield, tackled him behind the 20-yard line.
All right, here's Jack Robinson up to the 25, and he is stopped and stuffed.
And I guess Don James thought everyone was going to expect the pass, so we'll try to run it this time. I'm sure Jerry Stovall says thank you for that play.
Yeah. Hobley and Melanson on the tackle. Jefferson is in. We notice another freshman getting a lot of action. All right, 2nd and 8. And the same, I guess they're just going to run it for a while. Maybe they've figured that there's not much chance of winning this ball game. Ricky Chapman makes the tackle on that play.
Got a flag in here, and it looks like it's going to be against Washington. They're walking in that direction. Flag was thrown very early in the play where you normally would see the penalty call for holding.
Sean Burks and Chapman in there watching referee John Cook take another walk backwards. Holding is the call. Well, the Tigers have certainly grown into giant Tigers tonight. I'm sure a lot of fans were depressed after the Rice game, but you can be impressed after this game. Valor to his tight end, Leroy Lutu, and it's Ricky Chapman on the hit.
We got another flag down. I believe this is going to be against LSU for a personal foul. Both teams are being very aggressive right now because both teams are very mad at each other, which does happen sometimes, but LSU really has no reason to engage in that type of thing. The only thing they can do is hurt themselves. Good hard contact, though, and I think it was good clean contact just a little bit after the whistle, but 2 people were engaged in it, so it wasn't a cheap shot by any nature.
All right. See, Wilson is in, number 72. Has some playing time. Minute and 57 remaining. Valor wants to throw. Lutu has it at the 46. Ricky Chapman again on the tackle. Well, that helps your percentage all right, but it doesn't do much other than that. 2nd and 1. Minute and 35. Pelluer is now 25 of 37 for 287 yards. But the Huskies have not been able to run the football tonight at all. They had 29 yards rushing the first half. And there's an example.
I'll tell you got to give a lot of credit to Jeffrey Dale. He came up the field and he destroyed the interference in front of the ball carrier, which allowed LSU's pursuit to come up. That's something that LSU's linebackers and secondary has not been doing the first two games, and it makes such a big difference because it gets the interference completely out of the way, leaves the ball carrier all alone, and he hasn't even gotten to the line of scrimmage. A great play by Dale.
John Hazard, the freshman, is in. Henry Thomas, the nose guard. And there's a carry by Rick Finney, fullback. LSU is 36 seconds away from a big victory tonight. A tremendous victory for the Tigers. I can say that now, can't I, Bert?
You can say that now. They've outplayed them up and down this field tonight.
Pelluer wants to throw one more. And Stransky gathers it in at the 28. Rolls out of bounds. 14 seconds remaining, fans. Oh, they called it out of bounds when he caught it. All right. Pelluer is still looking to the sideline for a play to be sent in. If I were the coach, I'd say you think of something along about this time. Washington has a net 30 yards rushing.
Well, you know, Don James was right when asked about his ranking. He just said that his team did not deserve to be ranked that high earlier this week. Said he didn't feel he had that good a team, and I think he has a well-coached team, but he was correct about what he said.
All right, Pelluer. And the tight end Lutu dropped the ball at the 35. And the wheels have come off for the Huskies with 8 seconds to go. 40-14 Tigers. Jerry Stovall should be relaxed a little bit. He has his two state troopers down there now ready to provide him with a convoy off the field.
You know, Wayne, I think this game is very similar to the Florida State game of a year ago. I don't believe that the difference in the game is as much of a difference as the score indicates. LSU's played very well, but Washington's hurt themselves an awful lot.
Yeah, they have that penalty. There's a pass that brings it down to 2 seconds to go, and then Lutu went out of bounds and stopped the clock. Well, how about that? Just when the fans were ready to count down to 0 and jump out of their seats. A lot of fans have left the scene here, getting a little head start on the traffic. But they're happy. Probably out in the parking lot doing handsprings.
Only the gifted one.
Yeah. All right, this is the final play. Pelluer, another short pass to Stransky, and he's knocked out of bounds, and that's it. Jerry Stovall and Don James shake hands at the center of the field.
The LSU Tigers